Socialism, a word that carries a lot of weight in political and economic conversations. But what does it truly mean? Socialism, in essence, is an economic and political ideology that advocates for the collective ownership and management of the means of production. It first emerged during the Industrial Revolution as a response to rampant inequality, worker exploitation, and the concentration of wealth among a small elite. The roots of socialism can be traced back to the works of early proponents like Karl Marx, who championed the rights of the working class and sought to challenge the capitalist status quo. Marx and his contemporaries believed in the power of collective action and the redistribution of wealth as a means to create a more equitable society. Over time, socialism has evolved and adapted, but it remains anchored in the pursuit of social justice, economic equality, and the belief that resources should be shared for the benefit of all. Now that we have a solid understanding of what socialism is and its historical roots, let's delve deeper into its principles. At the heart of socialism lie several key principles. First, the concept of collective ownership. This means that the community as a whole owns and controls the means of production rather than a select few. It's about everyone having a stake and say in the economy. Second, cooperation. Socialism encourages people to work together for the common good rather than competing against one another. This creates a sense of solidarity and mutual aid. Third, equitable distribution of resources. In a socialist system, wealth and resources are distributed according to need, not greed. This helps to eliminate economic disparities. The socialist stance on private property is also noteworthy. Rather than abolishing private property, socialism seeks to limit the exploitation that can occur when property is owned by a select few. Similarly, socialism aims to dissolve social classes, fostering a society where everyone has equal opportunities. These principles form the bedrock of socialist ideologies, but how do they translate to a modern context? As society evolves, so too do interpretations of socialist ideologies. With the emergence of new social, economic, and environmental challenges, socialist principles have been adapted and reinterpreted, giving rise to modern variations of socialism that seek to address these contemporary issues. One such variant is democratic socialism, a political philosophy that combines the traditional socialist advocacy for collective ownership and equality with a commitment to democratic principles. Democratic socialists believe in controlling the economy democratically, ensuring that wealth and power are distributed equitably among the populace. They propose that major industries should be publicly controlled to prevent exploitation and to ensure that benefits are shared by all, not just a select few. Next, let's look at social democracy. Unlike democratic socialism, which seeks a complete transformation of the capitalist system, social democracy works within the existing system. It aims to reform capitalism to make it more equitable and humane, advocating for policies like universal health care, free education, and strong worker protections. Social democrats believe that while capitalism has its flaws, it can be tamed through robust regulations and progressive taxation. Lastly, we have eco-socialism, a relatively new interpretation that integrates environmental considerations into socialist thought. Eco-socialists argue that capitalism's relentless pursuit of profit is incompatible with ecological sustainability. They propose a system where production and consumption are regulated not by market forces, but by ecological needs, ensuring that we can meet the needs of all people without jeopardizing the planet for future generations. These modern interpretations of socialism, each with their unique emphasis and approach, demonstrate the adaptability of socialist principles in response to the evolving challenges of our time. They continue to inspire movements, influence policy debates, and shape political landscapes in various parts of the world. These modern interpretations of socialism continue to shape economic and social policies worldwide. A core aspect of socialism is its approach to economic systems. Let's delve into this by first looking at wealth redistribution. Under a socialist framework, wealth redistribution is seen as a key mechanism for achieving economic equality. This principle is based on the belief that a society's wealth should be shared among all its members, rather than concentrated in the hands of a few. In practice, this can take many forms, from public ownership of industries to social security programs. It's about ensuring that everyone has access to the resources they need to live a dignified life, irrespective of their starting point in life. Next, let's talk about progressive taxation. This is a tax system where the tax rate increases as the taxable income increases. The rich are taxed more heavily than the poor, reflecting their greater ability to contribute. This is seen as a way to balance the scales and promote economic fairness. It's not about punishing success, but about ensuring that everyone pays their fair share. Finally, let's turn our attention to worker cooperatives. These are businesses that are owned and controlled by the workers themselves. Instead of a top-down hierarchy where decisions are made by a few executives, decisions in worker cooperatives are made democratically, with each worker having an equal say. This empowers workers, giving them a direct stake in the business and its success. It's a way of ensuring that the benefits of economic activity are shared equitably, not just siphoned off by a small group at the top. So, how do these elements come together? Well, in a socialist system, wealth redistribution, progressive taxation, and worker cooperatives work in concert to create a more equitable economic landscape. They challenge the concentration of wealth and power, and propose a different way of organizing our economy, one where the many, not the few, reap the benefits of collective effort. Economic equality is a fundamental goal of socialism, but it's not the only area where this ideology seeks to make an impact. As we'll see in the next section, socialism also has a lot to say about social justice, but that's a story for another time. Socialism extends beyond economic systems to address social inequalities. Now let's delve into the ways socialism tackles these disparities, particularly through policies related to healthcare, education, and social welfare. Healthcare is a fundamental human right. Socialist ideologies advocate for universal healthcare systems, ensuring that everyone, regardless of their socioeconomic status, has access to the medical services they need. It's about putting people's well-being above profit and seeing health not as a commodity, but as a shared responsibility. Education, too, is perceived as a basic right within socialist frameworks. It's the bedrock of a just society, a tool for empowerment, and a means to level the playing field. The socialist approach to education promotes equal access to quality schooling for all, regardless of one's economic standing. It's about creating a society where your zip code doesn't determine the quality of your education. And then there's social welfare. In a socialist society, we look out for one another. Social welfare policies are designed to provide a safety net for those facing financial hardships. This could mean unemployment benefits, retirement pensions, or assistance for families in need. The goal is to ensure that no one falls through the cracks, that everyone has a decent standard of living. So what do these policies have in common? They all aim to promote social justice. They're about creating a society where everyone has equal opportunities, where no one is left behind. They reflect the socialist belief in collective responsibility, the idea that we're all in this together, that we should all have a fair shot at success. But socialism doesn't stop at social justice. It's a holistic ideology, one that looks at the bigger picture. It's not just about creating a fair society, but also a sustainable one. And that's where our next topic comes in: the relationship between socialism and environmental sustainability. The pursuit of social justice is a key element of socialist ideologies, but they also have a lot to say about our relationship with our planet. In the face of environmental crises, socialist ideologies offer unique perspectives. These perspectives stem from a fundamental belief in the collective ownership of resources, which naturally extends to our shared environment. In essence, socialism sees the environment not as a commodity, but as a community resource that must be protected for all. This leads us to the concept of eco-socialism, a philosophy that melds the principles of socialism with the urgency of environmental sustainability. Eco-socialism posits that a truly sustainable society can only be achieved when we replace the capitalist system, a system that often prioritizes profit over the planet, with a socialist one that values collective well-being and environmental health above all else. This integration of environmental sustainability into socialist policies is not a mere afterthought. It is a core tenet, a guiding principle that recognizes the interdependence of social justice, economic equality, and ecological balance. As we can see, socialism is not just about economics or social justice, it also has a strong focus on sustainability. As we've explored, socialism is a deeply nuanced ideology, with a rich history and varied interpretations. It's a political and economic philosophy inextricably tied to notions of collective ownership and cooperation, seeking an equitable distribution of resources across society. In our journey through the annals of socialist thought, we've uncovered its core tenets. From the socialist perspective on private property and social classes, to its unique approach to economic structures. Each principle paints a vibrant picture of a system designed to foster fairness and egalitarianism. The modern world has seen socialist ideologies evolve and adapt, giving rise to variations like democratic socialism, social democracy, and eco-socialism. Each of these interpretations seeks to address the contemporary challenges we face today, from economic disparity to environmental concerns, with a socialist lens. Our exploration of socialism's approach to economic equality shed light on the role wealth redistribution, progressive taxation, and worker cooperatives play in creating a more balanced economic landscape. Similarly, the socialist framework for social justice revealed a commitment to combating social inequalities, with a focus on healthcare, education, and social welfare. Notably, socialism doesn't shy away from the pressing issue of environmental sustainability. Eco-socialism and the integration of environmental consciousness in socialist policies underscore the ideology's commitment to a sustainable future. In the end, socialism is not a static concept, but a dynamic one, constantly evolving and adapting to address the world's ever-changing challenges. The enduring relevance of socialist ideologies, their ability to address contemporary issues, and their potential to contribute to a more equitable and sustainable world are impossible to ignore. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of socialism. Remember to like, subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, keep questioning, keep learning, and keep engaging in the world around you.